gatehouse. Now this is the first thing that Portmeirion did after the building restrictions were lifted in 1954. Now as you can see, the painting is a little bit different to the top than it is at the bottom. Now it's a couple to make things look damp and old. Now the gatehouse here, now I'm not sure if you all heard of the Beatles at all, the band from the 60s. Now the Beatles manager came to stay here, was a bit fashion conscious. Now the two water off the side were built at his request, and they still today remains. Now as we go underneath, excuse me, as we go underneath the archway here, you'll see this mural painting here. Now this was painted by Hans Nathan Fairbush, a Jewish artist who came here over here to England from Germany when the Nazi Party came into action in 1933. He has painted many structures here in the village. You can have 5 minutes to take a picture of that if you want to. When you're ready to move on, we'll move on. You just tell me. Now you'll see a viewpoint on the left. Now that was also built in 1954. If you have 5 minutes during the day, there's a showroom underneath it. Now as we move on, underneath the second archway here. As we go to the second archway here, you'll see this the full-scale mermaid panel. Now you'll see many other things. Sorry for the delay of keeping you down the bottom. Unfortunately, I forgot all about the tour. There's so many things on my mind at the moment. So yeah, so my name's Alan. So I will take you now for the next half an hour to 3/4 an hour to take you for a tour around the village, tell you what is Portmeirion and how it all began. So I will start like this. So Portmeirion, as you know, it's an Italian-style village built by Sir Clough Williams-Ellis, twinned with Portofino, which is situated on the Italian Riviera. Now, how it all began, now it was built by Sir Clough Williams-Ellis. Now, Sir Clough Williams-Ellis went all around the world to look for somewhere to build a village, an island. Now, after about 20 years of searching, he came across this piece of land here, which is the original name called Portmeirion, and that means Glacier River in English. Now, so the first thing that Sir Clough did was change the name into Portmeirion. Because of the name like Glacier River, you wouldn't think that people would come and visit with that kind of name, so he felt this was fit to the cold side. So he changed it to Portmeirion, port like a boat ship down in Portmeirion or a bay, and then Meirion because back in those days we were in County Meirionshire. So he combined the both together to make it Portmeirion. Now there were 4 original buildings here. Now the one of them is the old mansion house, which is the main hotel which we all came from. And then the old staple block, which is our main shop in the village. The old fisherman's cottage, which is one of our self-catering rooms, which is at the other side of the hotel. And then the gardener's cottage, which is in the centre of the village, which is one of our hotel rooms. Now, Sir Clough started on the old mansion house. Well, when he bought this place in 1925, that's the first thing that he started off with, which is the old mansion house, and he turned it into a hotel. And that's opened in Easter in 1926, and that what brought the whole income in to create the whole village. The last thing that he did, which is the toll booth, which is on your left-hand side here, in 1976. But unfortunately, Sir Clough wants to do another building here to complete his completion. But unfortunately, he died he never got around to do it. He died in 1978 at the age of 94, which was 6 weeks from his 95th birthday. Now, Portmeirion was built in 2 different type of stages. Before and after the Second World War, because he had to stop in 1939 because of the outbreak of the war, because the building restrictions came into action. Then the building restrictions were lifted in 1954, then Circliffe started back then. Now in many structures, you'll see many of items in the village which are all recycled items. Now Circliffe wanted to use something which getting chucked away, like this ancestral statue over here, which has got the scaffolding around it. That was in someone's garden one day. That was in someone's garden. Right. And then he approached the owner one day, asking if he can have it as a gateway of Portmeirion. Then he brought it back here into the village. Okay. And then when Portmeirion became more popular, many of items were donated to Circliffe to spare the getting lost, damaged and destroyed. Now we'll move along now. Now this cottage here, which is the Cliff House Cottage, that was built in 1967. Now you'll see that some of the half of the windows has been painted on. Now Circliffe wants to make smaller things look bigger. And then that's the term of this is called trombloi. That means in English deceiving of the eye. Now you'll see many of this has been painted in many structures in the village. We move on a little bit further now. So, if you just look onto your right, where the lady's taking a photograph taken, there is a Buddha underneath it. Now that was involved in the Six Happiness back in 1958, starred English Bergman. Now it was filmed primarily from this village about 7 miles away in a village called Bethgelert. Now the actors used to come and stay here in the village, and then after the film came to an end, the Buddha was donated to Circliffe, a way of thanking him to stay in the village. And then Circliffe placed here in the shelter. And they came over this training suite into the centre here, which stands on this couple of columns in the centre. Okay, if you want to come on.
This is extraordinary. I love the gardening here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Look at the way everything is so well done. Must do a lot of work on the gardening here.
They need better stairs here.
Oh.
Then again, I wanted to prove at least is the architectural good manner of which
to commemorate, I can't remember the date, I do apologise. That was to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the prisoner getting filmed here. Okay. Now, I think you all know about it, about the Secret Service agent who resigned from his post, and then all the number twos were trying to gather why he resigned. There was the different type of number twos all the time. And then as soon as the hearse came for his party in London, cast a smoke into his flat. Of course, the Lagoon's carriage collapsed, and he walked up to this village where he didn't know where he was. He spent all 17 episodes to try and gather his location. And then this was his house. It is the prisoner shop here. The door is to be on the side. Now the convenience store was next door here, where he purchased a map to try and gather where he was. And they've only purchased a map of the village boundaries. Now to come back to the village now itself. Now this is called the Battery Square. It is named after two cannons, which is on the other side here to protect this territory. Now, if you look just here now, this bell tower, that was built in 1928. That was built out of an old castle rock, which was one side up in the woodland, called the Castle of Portmeirion. Now, now back in 1869, the castle still up until then. There were a botanist who used to live on the grounds called Sir William Fothergill Cook. He was so fed up of people coming onto the land to look at the remains of the castle. He demolished it. These days he could be sent to prison for it. So Sir Cliff used the remains of the rocks to build this bell tower. Yeah, sorry, the book you want to come in behind you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Over, please, thank you. So if you look behind you, you've got the dome. Now back in the 1950s, Sir Cliff stated a village without a dome will be domed efficiency. So now you'll see this white porch here. This used to be an old fireplace. That came from Doper Home, which one stand up on the river. Now that was demolished in 1927 because they fell into disrepair after the owner died in 1899, called Sir William Fothergill, called Sir Thomas Ismay. He was the owner of the White Star Line, the largest ship you will ever get. So Sir Cliff brought, after the Doper Hall was demolished, Sir Cliff requested the old fireplace or brought it back into the village. He put it up in the woodland for 30 years to let it deteriorate a little bit. He brought it back here and used it as I last year from 1957 onwards. Then he built the dome from behind it in 1961. Now, what we'll do now, we'll go into the centre of the village to make it easier for yourself to stay getting too wet, so I can cut the tour down a little bit for you. Are you all okay with the staircase here? Because we've got under the stairs down on the corner, which is all concrete in Stoke-on-Trent. Now, back in 1960, when the Grace pottery came for sale, Susan and Andy bought the Grace pottery. Now, a year later, the Kirkens pottery came up for sale, so they next door, and then they bought that one. They combined the both together to make it Portmeirion pottery. So, yeah, so by 1988, the family gradually sold their shares, so none of the family is no longer involved in the pottery. Now, the pottery of Stoke-on-Trent is now run by Portmeirion Group. Now behind it, the yellow arch, which you can't see unfortunately, if you got time the other day, you can have a proper look at it. Now, back in 1963, Susan suggested to her father that he should build an archway for a presentation of a welcome into the village, because none of the lorries, unfortunately, couldn't fit underneath the gatehouse, which we came underneath. Well, pressure of a welcome wanted to make here, so Sir Cliff built the archway. Now, the statue above it, one stood in the main entrance down the bottom of the driveway to make a welcome before Sir Cliff moved it to put it on top of the archway. Spinner Twine, and you got the Golden Dragon Takeaway Cafe behind you, the Town Hall Cafe, and you've got the ice cream parlour as well next door to me here. Now, when you go back down to the hotel later, if you look behind you, if you look at the top left, you'll see
bumps are quite something. Whoa.
Enjoy. Okay. Enjoy.
I take a minute to get my